My name is Mike, and this is a 2019 Subaru Crosstrek. I'm going to give you 10 things you need to know about this crossover SUV starting right now. First of all, number 10, this is a Crosstrek, so it's definitely a crossover SUV. But is it an SUV or is it a car? Is it a hatchback? It's definitely a Subaru. I don't know that I would consider it a SUV. It's a CUV, it's a crossover. The bottom line, it's an Impreza with a lift kit and a hatchback to give it that SUV look. This is a crossover if there ever was one. Number 9, as I just mentioned, it's lifted. It's not really off-road design. To me, it's more bad road design. You got the plastic cladding all underneath to protect the vehicle during the winter. So I think this car, along with the standard heated seats, it's really designed for cold and wet climates. Number 8, the 4-cylinder engine makes 152 horsepower. It has 145 pound-feet of torque. It is not particularly quick or strong, but I would describe it as adequate. I saw about 28 miles per gallon. It's also mated to a CVT. I'm not a big fan of the CVT or the CV transmissions. They're continuously variable, and yet they give you the option to have some gearing, which would imply some level of variance between gears, which isn't even real. And so I get why they need to do it in order to, you know, people want this paddle shifter sporty performance feel even if they don't use it. I would definitely go with the 6-speed manual transmission. Number 7, this car has no exhaust. When I first saw it, I was like, that's weird. There's no fake exhaust pipes, there's no real exhaust pipes. In fact, they put the exhaust tied up underneath. It simply shoots straight down. So they just did away with the entire idea of having an exhaust in terms of the display of the back of the vehicle. It's an interesting choice that you don't really see anymore, but I give them props for being different. Number 6, the interior is pretty cool, kind of weird. You got the orange stitching, which I do like. The hybrid gets green stitching, obviously. The seat cloth is made of a couple different materials, which I think adds to some texture. It gives it, you know, a nice look. The floor mats are a little bit more durable than what you might see standard in a lot of other vehicles. The carbon fiber trim is fake. It's weird. I don't really know why they're putting it in this car. I guess it's to give it a sporty feel. And there's 2 different types of carbon fiber trickery. It almost looks like a houndstooth trim to me, which is really strange. I don't really care for it. So the back seat is not the biggest, nor is the trunk space. This is a small crossover, so while it does have more space than a car version like the Impreza would, it doesn't have a lot of room. It's not even a medium SUV. It's very small. It's easy to park and drive, but you don't have a lot of room. Before I move on with the list, if you could click that like button, I appreciate it. It helps this video. Let's get back to the list. Number 5, the nannies. So this definitely is similar to the Toyota Highlander that I've driven, where it's got the adaptive cruise and the lane keep assist. Both of them will keep you in line. It's definitely something, you're gonna have to get used to driving. I am still not a fan of it, although I see it in more and more vehicles. It's a good safety feature. If it's something you're after, it comes standard in this Crosstrek. both the lane keeping assist and the adaptive cruise control. Number 4, despite its attempt to look sporty and to be sporty cute, this car is not sporty. It's got body roll, the CVT is boring, the steering is mellow, the engine is adequate at best. It's designed to be functional and reliable, but not really sporty, and I don't really understand why they're trying to pretend to be sporty, but nonetheless, that's what it is. Number 3, the infotainment system is new to me. This is the first Subaru I have test driven since starting my reviews, and I found it to be challenging. The screen's a little bit smaller than what you would see standard in a lot of their competitors. It has navigation, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, a decent stereo. Overall, was easy to navigate, but this car is, 6 months old, and the system crashed twice on me. It almost seemed like the processor in the system couldn't handle Apple CarPlay with navigation, and if you did anything else, it would crash and reset itself. That can be a real problem if you're trying to follow directions on your screen and then it just crashes. So something to check out further. The infotainment system I would describe as adequate, but I wouldn't give it any high marks. Number 2, the price. So this comes in standard as this is at about $21,500, $21,000. You can get it all the way up and limited with leather seats for about $27,000. So not a big gap between the top and the bottom of the line. 27 gets you their fully loaded, which I'm not test driving today, but that does come with leather seats, which is kind of the biggest option that gets added. I think it has a moonroof as well. And so, the price is relatively affordable for the dependability that Subaru comes with. So I do think it's a good option if you're interested in a car this small, which I'm obviously not. And the number one thing you need to know is it's part of their personality, but Subarus are kind of weird. You've got this weird double carbon fiber fake trim. You've got weird steering controls and this top screen. And the look itself, I mean, the rims are a little squarish in parts. They don't really follow the trends, and I respect that about Subarus. They're just a little bit different than everybody else, and they're okay with that. And so if you're gonna buy a Subaru, I'm not saying that it means you have to shop at Whole Foods and wear Birkenstocks, but overall, there's no doubt they're kind of a weird vehicle. All right, as usual, I'm gonna give you 3 gripes. So the first one, I gotta tell you, the carbon fiber houndstooth trim is weird and I don't like it. It's kind of a minor thing. Number 2, which is more serious, the cup holder area has nothing to kind of create different size space. So I put a cup of coffee in here this morning and it was not secured, and it had about a 1/2 inch of slide room, making it not secure, and sure enough, some coffee got spilled. It's not the end of the world, but they could easily design it as all the other car manufacturers do to be able to hold your cup. And then number 3, the CVT transmission. It's not fun, it's not sporty, it's not really controllable, and I think this engine would do a lot better if it had a, like an 8-speed automatic or something where you had some real gearing, certainly the manual transmission. Hey, thanks for watching. That's my review of this 2019 Subaru Crosstrek. If you got one thing out of this video, would you click that like button? I appreciate it. Check out my other reviews on my channel, Car Mike. I do informative, opinionated, sometimes interesting reviews of the car, trucks, and SUVs that I drive. Thanks, and see you next time.